Hello, thank you for coming to my Cardano weekly recap video. I'm really excited to make this video today. I actually skipped one last week because I was so busy, but we're going to be going over all the stuff that you guys have missed in the last week in Cardano. I make these videos because I know not everyone can pay attention because there's so much news happening so fast, so I try to get all the juicy stuff and include it in this video. So what are we going to be going over today? I'm going to be going over the rewards again, when you guys are going to be getting paid your rewards. I know a lot of people are confused and delayed, so I'm just going to explain that process one more time. I'm going to be going over when Yoroi Mobile is going to be released, and then also I'm going to be going over a Shopify integration just to bring ADA to many stores. I'm really excited to go over that. It's going to be pretty cool. I'll be going over 1,000 stake pools, a release from Tim Harrison. We're going to be going over podcasts. I'm going to be starting a new podcast in the ecosystem. I'm going to be going over a video that Charles released where he's talking about releasing or funding a few different podcasts. So I'm really excited about that. But if you guys want to support me and my channel, the best thing you can do is delegate to Bloom. Bloom is actually the #1 pool on ADA pools right now. They take a lot of different factors into account. This epoch, we're actually getting close to the end of the epoch, but we have 35 blocks. Bloom 2's number 8. We actually have 7 blocks on there, and then the next epoch, our blocks per epoch is probably going to double, maybe even a little more than that. But yeah, I mean, we're killing it. We have a 2.5 million pledge to secure the network on both of our pools. We charge a 5% fee. We charge the minimum cost per epoch, so you guys don't get taken away from that. But yeah, that's it. If you guys have any more questions about Bloom, feel free to ask. I'm also going to be going over saturation level in this video, so stay tuned for that. Let's get started. Okay, so there's 2 little things I wanted to go over in this portion of the video. This is going to be the saturation level, what you guys need to do when any pool gets saturated, and also when you guys are going to start getting paid your rewards, and also if you guys delegated today, for example, when are you going to get your rewards, right? So first things first, saturation is actually at 211 million. So Bloom is actually at around 190 million, so we're about 20 million away from saturation. So what do you guys do if Bloom gets saturated? Don't worry about it. I know somebody that delegates to Bloom with 25 million ADA. So when Bloom does get saturated, I can just send them a message and have them move over at a moment's notice so you guys don't lose any of those precious rewards. If you guys also want to join my Discord server, the link's down below. I actually give stake pool notifications about how many blocks we got per epoch. And also I'll notify you on the Discord and on my Twitter if Bloom does get saturated so you guys can switch over to Bloom too. So let's start talking about when you guys are going to get some rewards. So this had to get changed thanks to Digi over here. He always changes these. I like his, he's an expert graphic design artist. I really do appreciate it. So this is when the stake snapshot started. So there's this thing at the every epoch switch called a stake snapshot. And this is important to remember. You guys can see it at the switch of every epoch here. And then we get to follow this little line, right? So on August 8th is where we took the stake snapshot so you remember August 13th. This is the day where we had our block party, right? So this is when the pool starts getting blocks. Well, these blocks are actually determined from the stake snapshot on August 8th, right? So say Bloom had 140 million. On August 8th, and it did. I think it was like 146 million. So the blocks that we're actually getting this epoch, the blocks that we got during the epoch party, the 35 blocks that I just showed you guys, this came from the stake snapshot on August 8th. So this is how it works. August 8th, stake snapshot, blocks start minting 5 days later after the stake snapshot, and then we go through the next one, and then the rewards are calculated on August 18th, right? And then they're paid on the 23rd. So you guys got to get this timeline in mind because this is how it's going to be forever. So if you guys delegate on the 8th, 5 days, 5 more days, rewards are calculated, 5 more days, rewards are paid. And it does it for each time. So say you added a million ADA right here. You know, you got big boy pants, you got a million ADA. So you add it right here, but it's after the stake snapshot. So your stake snapshot right here is, so you added another million ADA, so you're at 2 million ADA total. This one caught the first million, so you'll get paid for rewards for the first million on the 23rd, but then you add another million during this epoch right here. Well, that extra million, a snapshot's taken again right here, and then we get to follow this line. So then that extra million, the blocks for that extra million start getting produced here, right? And then following that, rewards are calculated on the 23rd, and then rewards are paid on the 28th, right? Because this is the final thing. And that repeats every snapshot, right? So if you delegate it here, you're going to start getting rewards after the 23rd every single 5 days, right? So you do start getting rewards every 5 days, but the first initial wait does take a while. I think that's about 15 days to be exact. Yeah, so 5, 10, 15. So the first time that you start delegating, it'll be 15 days before you get your first reward. And then after that, you'll get rewards every 5 days, as long as you're delegated to a big enough pool that'll give you a block per epoch. So, yep, that's really the saturation and the delegation cycle. If you guys have any questions about this, feel free to comment down below. This is important information. So I've had a lot of comments in my video, people asking, when are we going to get Yoroi Mobile Shelly integration? When are we going to be able to stake in Yoroi Mobile? Sebastian actually came out and said this, and I think it's important. He said, recall, Shelly is like a whole new cryptocurrency, whole new code base, new everything. With this update, our Cardano Mobile SDK shipped on both Android and iOS in only 3 weeks. So Yoroi Mobile is now available for iOS. So what this means is you guys can actually withdraw your ADA and move it to a Yoroi wallet or a dataless wallet to start staking today. And then they say the delegation support is coming in a future update. So Charles Hoskinson actually came out in an AMA yesterday and said the release cadence is every 2 weeks. So we might be seeing that in 2 weeks, maybe a little longer. So we'll have to see. But you guys can actually get your ADA off of mobile and bring that to Yoroi on the browser or the dataless wallet. So yeah, there's a little update on Yoroi. As soon as the Yoroi mobile app is out, I will actually release a video on how to stake with Yoroi mobile. And it'll also act as kind of a news update for you guys. So you guys can know it's out, so you can start staking with your iOS. And this is specifically for iOS. For Android, I think it was actually available earlier. So the next thing I wanted to talk about today is something that I'm really excited about. This is one of my favorite things from the Cardano Summit. A lot of you were there to watch that with me, so I appreciate that, guys. But this is my favorite thing, Project Catalyst. Let's get started. So we're transitioning from Byron to Shelly, and that transition phase is coming to an end. And actually, IOHK released an update on Project Catalyst. It's as the 5th and final phase of Cardano Voltaire via Twitter. So this is what they stated on Twitter. Today we're kicking off Fund 1, the first exploratory stage in our Project Catalyst governance program for Cardano. Project Catalyst is an exciting experiment in a decentralized governance. #Voltaire. We believe the network can only be truly decentralized once supported by a strong, empowered community equipped with the right tools and processes to govern the treasury. This is the first step in the important innovation process for Cardano. During the first exploratory phase, known as Fund 1, a group of 50 volunteers will help design a program structure. As IOHK further explained on Twitter, the challenge for this first phase of Fund 1 is to gather ideas and suggestions on how developers and entrepreneurs can be encouraged to build dApps and businesses on Cardano within the next 6 months. The first phase of this project is thus about laying the foundations for a democratic system, as IOHK explained. This is another quote from Twitter. We'll be exploring the big picture themes of decentralized democracy, voting, and governance, and how these can be made real, as well as creating incubation space for members funding proposals, which will be voted on in the next round, Fund 2, later this summer. Voltaire's main goal is to transform Cardano into a self-sustaining system with the introduction of voting and a treasury system. Network participants will be able to influence the future development of the network with their shares and voting rights. Users will have the opportunity to make suggestions concerning software updates, technical improvements, and finances of the project, to participate in the decision-making process. According to IOHK project manager Dor Garbash, the system will start with an initial balance of ADA of USD of $8 million. It's a lot of money. I drank too much coffee. I'm stuttering a little bit. The question, according to him, is whether the community is able to manage the funds fairly and effectively, as Garbash determined. The simple answer is we don't know. But what we do know is that this is the only way to find out. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. That's why I'm so excited about Project Catalyst, and this actually ties into the podcast that I'm going to be announcing later in this video that I'm starting. But yeah, I think this is one of the most important things in Cardano, just having the ability for users to be able to vote on where the funds in the treasury goes. This is watching Charles's whiteboard video and being here for years. This is one of the most important things that I was excited about, because once there's people building on Cardano, I think a lot more people will come and it'll add more use and utility. And I'm really excited about this. And Dor Garbesh is right. We don't know if the community will be able to actually manage the funds fairly and effectively. I don't think that means that we shouldn't have the option to, but that means that I think there are going to be leaders in the community that need to step up and really spend a lot of time researching this and finding a way. And that's what these 50 volunteers are doing. They just need to step up and really find a good democratic structure for this and make sure the funds are distributed fairly and effectively, as Garbesh said. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. I think it's pretty awesome. Another cool project on top of Cardano is the Cardano e-commerce integration project, sponsored by the Shop Stake Pool. I do appreciate them doing this stuff, so shout out to them. This project aims to build Cardano integrations with e-commerce, enable online shops and customers to exchange ADA for goods with zero fees and commissions. That would be awesome, to be able to exchange ADA for goods with zero fees and commissions. Paying with cryptocurrency usually has a fee attached to it, unless you're doing it peer-to-peer, Initially, we're going to release and maintain an official Shopify app, which will be immediately accessible to more than 500,000 online businesses around the world who generate $800 million per minute in sales. Once smart contracts become available, we'll introduce support for subscriptions and recurring payments in ADA and native tokens that run on the Cardano blockchain. The code will be fully open source, and more advanced users will be able to customize, build, and deploy it on their own servers. After Shopify, we will move to build integrations with other large e-commerce platforms such as WooCommerce for WordPress, Magento, and etc. Source code and documentation will be available on this GitHub repository, and the work has already begun. And you guys can click this to start checking out the code, seeing what they're doing. So this is the project. This is being made by, it says one contributor here, so shout out to them, man. This is awesome. I will keep you guys updated on this news. The idea of having ADA as a payment on 500,000 online businesses around the world is huge, especially in the beginning. We are moving towards the adoption phase. Next year, and this year is going to be all about adoption. But once Goggen's out, it's adoption time. And that's why that also ties into Bloom's new ideologies and the new podcast I'm going to start, but more on that in a second. So I just wanted to show you guys this quick update from Tim Harrison. We're going to go over a couple things in here, but I'll have the link down below if you guys want to read the whole thing. So first thing he mentioned is we have now reached an astonishing number of over 1,000 stake pools running Cardano. This is awesome because, you guys have heard Charles say it a million times, 1,000 times more decentralized than Bitcoin. And we have reached 1,000 stake pools, so that is an important milestone. And as the value of ADA goes up, there will be enough value going around to support 1,000 stake pools and beyond as the value of ADA goes up. And I think that's awesome, man. It's a beautiful thing. And they also announced that, the epoch that we're currently in right now, D parameter was set at 0.9. I know you guys are sick of hearing this, but it is important to mention. That means that 10% of the block production is being done by stake pools, and 90% is being done by the federated Byron nodes. So at the start of the next epoch, which is actually happening today, that is actually going to be lowered down to 0.8. I'll just read this quote right here. It is important. So by dropping to 0.8, we can give more pools the opportunity to create blocks and establish themselves. At this level, pools won't suffer in the rankings as long as they create one of the allocated blocks and get rewards. This way, we believe we can grow the network in a healthy way at low network risk while monitoring over the next few epochs before making any further reductions. So from this, what I can derive from this is that we're dropping immediately to 0.8, which is a big help for small stake pools. At 0.9, you had to have around 10 to 11 million ADA to get a block. That's not always the case. People can get lucky with 500,000 ADA, 2 million ADA. They can still get a block. But to guarantee yourself a block, I think you had to have over 10 million ADA to guarantee yourself a block. So that was really hard for small pools because for big pools, they get to pay their delegates every epoch, right? Every 5 days. Here's a payment. Here's a payment. Well, for small pools, they might lose their delegates if they don't get a block because the delegates don't know if their pool is even online. You know, they can see the relays are online, but if they're not getting a block, how are they going to know? You know, and it's really hard to educate the community on that. So I really do feel for the small pools. I had the same experience in the ITN. So by dropping to 8, it's like Tim Harrison said, they're going to give a lot more pools the opportunity to create blocks, establish themselves with their delegates, and build a brand. So this is great. But what I can drive from this though is they're not going to be lowering it anymore over the next few epochs. They don't mention that decrement parameter that they were talking about, like the 0.25 or the 0.45. I don't see that anywhere. So I think we might be at 0.8 for a few epochs, which is interesting. I thought there was a set decay, but I haven't seen that anywhere else. So we will have to wait and see. Okay, we're on the final part of the video, the part that I was most excited for. I'm going to be announcing a new podcast today that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be working real hard on this, but I'm going to explain first what Charles mentioned. He actually sparked the idea for me. I have been wanting to start a real podcast like the Cardano Effect, where it's serious. You know, they have a nice setup, good audio, and really just jump into it. So what Charles mentioned was that he was willing to give $15,000 to 3 different styles of podcasts, and he's doing this to bring more content creators into the community that are doing real things. And the first $15K was for dApps, and it was with Plutus and Marlowe. It was kind of like real technical tutorials on how to build dApps in Cardano. So I think that's really cool. And the second thing is a trading in margin So this is like just specifically a podcast about trading. You guys know that this one is not for me. I'm not a trading guy. I love Cardano. I buy and hold. You know, not trading advice, but I'm not a trading guy. I don't know the technicals, but I do see that there's a lot of people in the space that are into that. That's just not my thing. So the final thing that he announced, which this is my thing. As soon as he said this, like I swear my ears perked up. He said, projects, use, and utility. To me, this is awesome. I try to merge the technical side of Cardano and then the people side of Cardano. You know, I try to make the technical things easy to understand. But at the same time, I still am a technical person. I get giddy about the technology behind Cardano. I get so excited and so passionate about people building on Cardano, right? So him announcing that he will fund so first of all, the community has to vote, right? This is going to go through the Project Catalyst DC fund that I was talking about earlier. So this is a bit out, you know, but the community has to vote on it. Right, so if you guys want me to do this, if you want me to go through with this, I really am planning on it, but I do need your guys' support. So please comment down below. Vote for big pay, for projects, use, and utility. I want to start a podcast, and I'll probably even start the podcast before the funding comes through because I just love the idea and I want to start doing it. But it's specifically about bringing in, the way I would style the podcast is bringing people that are building on Cardano, right? I might have the guy from ADA Pools on. He's building ADA Pools on Cardano. I might have other people that are building projects on Cardano. So then what I can do is have them come in, have them explain how this will bring adoption to Cardano, why they're building it, what their passion is. And really, I'll take the technical stuff in the podcast and I'll try to make it simpler so everyone can understand. I'll try to make it interesting because it is a hard thing to do because a lot of people that are building this stuff on Cardano are very technical people. And my goal with this podcast is to take that technicality and bridge it into a consumable format so then you guys can easily digest it, similar to how they do on the Cardano Effect, but also keep it interesting and also bring attention to the great projects that are being built on Cardano. So yeah, that's the video today. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was a longer one, so let me know if you guys enjoyed it down below. But like I said, comment down below, say vote for big pay, projects, use, and utility. I would love to do this, but like I said, I cannot do it without you guys. So, yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Happy staking. The second epoch is about to start. We're going to keep killing it with Bloom. I do appreciate all your support. I had a great time with the block party. It was amazing, guys. But, yeah, have a lovely week.